we're getting ready because people keep saying we don't like when you have to, we hear about it and then we learn that it is no longer an option. Oh my goodness. So we're trying a new format here on tonight where we're going to be talking to you personally about how it looks. So y'all let me know and keep me posted about how it works out for you. Sounds like a plan? Absolutely, positively. So thanks for joining us here on the Thursday Night Thought. Again, I am Dr. Marian, Sister of Ford. Let me know where you're from. Say hi, say hey, say something so that we know that you're here and we can start our conversation. Tonight is not going to be the usual conversation. It's going to be something because it's more of a personal matter. How about that? It's a personal matter. And so I'm going to stand still because it looks like I'm pixelated on this new system. So I'm going to slow down and not do any hand movements. I'm just going to stand still and look at all your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. And I support that you will support me in this process. So here's what we're saying. So tonight's Thursday Night Thought is simply this. Our Thursday Night Thought tonight is about authenticity. A Thursday Night Thought is my personal journey doing all of this. Our Thursday Night Thought is me saying to myself that I no longer want to be silent. I know I haven't been silent, but I've never really addressed the circumstances that we experience. So tonight I had the opportunity to be on my mentor call, and my mentor talked about donating $1 million to a cause that would support children of color and being able to be more aware of financial literacy. And I love that. Right. And then I had to think back, like, children of color, like, is that black or what? Because like you got a lot of black folks that really buy into you at the high end level, not really at the low end. But anyway, I applaud his efforts. And he's talking about you can't be afraid to speak on issues. So those of you that have been in my family, that are on part of the inner circle or part of my family, and maybe even those of you in my community may be taken apart. And if you don't know, I'm 100% Black African descendant. And we have been kind of catching it hard lately. And I'm still recovering. Let me keep it 100 with y'all. I am still recovering from the Ahmaud Arbery videotape. I haven't even had the strength to read fully about Breonna Taylor or Rayshard Brooks or George Floyd or, I apologize, peace and life be upon the soul that I'm forgetting. But there were a total of 5 in the month of May. And so when I get people calling me to ask me questions, I'm not surprised. This is what I do. Those of you that want to leave out because you're like, I don't want to hear anything about that. I'm talking personal today. So in my business today, I had a really good sales day. I was able to attract people who wanted to be about the repurposing, releasing, and rethinking some of their beliefs, practices, and behaviors in such a way that they could leverage them to have holistic prosperity, right? Holistic prosperity, rewarding relationships, financial assurance, and increased spiritual activation and awareness. I'm hesitant because my mind is someplace else, right? So I'm a mama. I have 2 sons. I don't know how many nephews I got. And my BFF called me and told me my nephew was murdered the other night. And that's a challenge for me. But at the same time, I really want to talk about authenticity. Are you authentic when you are presenting yourself to the people every day? And I had to ask myself that, right? Am I being authentic? I'm going to tell you that when you make 6 figures and you start being in rooms with people who are millionaires, not just six figures, but they're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 figure people you have to listen because you know that that's something that would definitely benefit your why. My why is me and my family. My why is to make sure that my children never literally, I think there's a scripture says, don't be the lender, they're the lender, not the borrower, right? I wanna tell you that being in that room for the last 10 years and sometimes being the only one with high melanation, aka a black woman of African descent, has been a challenge for me, but I appreciate being in that spot. Don't get it twisted, not even for a moment. I appreciate being in that spot. I appreciate being the only one that would be on a production that's on Broadway. I'm just saying I gotta have a little moment to talk about me for a little while. Some of y'all see this as bragging because that's what we've been conditioned to say, oh, she's bragging. No, the fuck I ain't. I'm telling you facts. No, I'm not. I'm telling you facts about my life. And that's what's happening right now. The rest of the world doesn't want to hear the facts and the experience of our life. So I'm asking you, do you have a fact or an experience that you are holding back because you don't want to upset people? Because you don't want to seem like you're complaining. You don't want to seem like you're different from everyone else. But authenticity is 100% important when you want to convince people or show people your position, your priority, your thoughts. This is a Thursday thought. Of course, this is Dr. Marian's Sister for. I'm trying a new format tonight. I see I'm pixelating, so I don't think I want to use this anymore. But I want to talk to y'all tonight because this is the time. This is the time for you to begin to reflect. This is the time for you to begin to think about what it is you want. Who are you and what do you want? We hear that with the law of attraction. People misconstrue it. That means that if you think it and believe it, it will become so. But they don't tell you the part about the transmutation and having to do, connect yourself with other people and find the resources and all that good stuff. Staying consistent. It's a daily moment by moment practice. So when we're talking about, getting into a position of authenticity, I'm talking about us rising up to the moment where we can really, really move forward and move the needle. Well, I promise no hand movements. And move the needle. Learn who you really are and what you are here to contribute, and then go from there. Because some of us are so busy trying to act like we have risen already that we're missing the necessary feedback and freedom that is awaiting us to be able to exemplify our greatest and highest parts. Turn my phone off. Sorry about that. It's not about other people's comfort zone as much as it is about you. So someone said to me, well, Marian, I had this great turnout. People signed up for the webinar. They signed up for the webinar. I had a great turnout. They had over 300 people on their webinar, which is beautiful, right? For someone who's just starting out. Congratulations, bravo, and bravo. But what happened was they couldn't convert them over to sales. And why is that? Well, I said that and I had her do a survey because it was her first time out. And the survey that she had said that people felt like they just weren't ready. They weren't sure if the product was for them. And then one of the last questions says, was the person that presented this authentic? Did you feel they were authentic? And let me tell you something, 75% of the people said they felt that she was not authentic. That's a big thing to say. Authenticity is a big thing. How are you being authentic? Are you being true? And listen, you got to ask yourself, do you have stereotypes about an entrepreneur, stereotypes about a Black entrepreneur, white entrepreneur, Asian entrepreneur, Latina entrepreneur, or indigenous? Whatever your identification label, you got to be able to ask yourself, are you believing the good and the bad about who you are authentically? As a group of people, as your skill, as your knowledge, as your connections, as your resources? Are you doing that? If you are, let me hear you say one. Seriously, put in the comments. And I'm doing this even though I see people coming and going. I'm going to do this anyway because it's going to make you think. I made myself a vow in 2019 that I would make sure I pour back into the people that normally can't go where I was at. I want to come back and I want to elevate them and give them information. I'm not elevating you in a physical way, but I'm elevating you with information so that you can do the same things and you can begin to capture your wealth, your prosperity, your holistic prosperity. Yeah? We good or good? So tonight is all about being authentic. What does it mean to be authentic? Authentic means that you are not showing us anything that is not you. Some days I look really fancy, some days I don't. That's authentic. Some days you hear me, I might say a swear word, and some days I don't. I have a friend that's a vegan. He's trying to become vegan. And he said to me, I was good until I walked in the house and she cooked a meal that I normally eat. Right? That's real. That's authentic. Hey, I'm working on transitioning to being a vegan, but that's not where I'm at right now. Right? So tonight's Thursday Night Thought is all about tapping into what is authentically you. Where do you stand in finding and identifying who you are authentically? Without the labels, without the titles, without the degrees, who are you and how much of that do you want to present to other people? Welcome, Periscope. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you to where closer to your goals. I'm watching time. Yeah. So being authentic. Today I was on my mentor call, as I said, and he gave this great announcement, which I thought was really, hey, Wendy, this great announcement. And he was sharing out about this donation he made, this program he's contributing to. And he also said tonight that if you're not able to have an opinion on something or, provide some type of support or facts, then you're just faking it. I was like, oh my goodness. We do that because we don't want to have, we're climbing the mountain, but we don't want to have any scars on our knees or our hands. Have you ever scaled a mountain? Have you ever seen a mountain? You ever climbed a wall in a gym or any place? You know what it's like. If you ever climbed a tree, you're bound to get a scrape, a nick, something. It's evidence of this risk that you've taken. But what do? We want to show only us after we've showered, after we have got to the top of the mountain, we take all the selfies, but we don't want to show the ugly part. That's not being authentic. March 16th was the last day of my retreat. March 17th was the last day of my inner healing retreat, ASI Inner Healing Retreat on March 16th. And at that day, on that Sunday morning, welcome to hear that we were on quarantine or lockdown or shelter in place, whichever term makes you feel most liberated. And when I got that, I was like, oh my goodness, I have a retreat in July. Not concerned, right? But then I heard a second time when I got home and they said coronavirus. And I realized that I had been in Europe in December and January. And that when I came back home, while I was in Europe, I should say, I read the newspaper in Italy, and I think it was a broadcast verse, but I remember hearing about it in Europe. Okay. So if that's our reality, why did I panic? I didn't. I said, let's do what has to be done. Let's get started. Good. I wasn't aware. I just knew that I've been told we're in shelter in place and there's something that's spreading. It took over Asia, parts of Asia, Korea, China, etc. I knew that my friend was had told me something about this thing as well when I brought it to her, and I just know that we had to get in preparation. Being authentic. Are you afraid? Yes. Say you're afraid. You don't understand? Say I don't understand. That's what let your customers know, your clients know that what you're talking about is from a place of experience. Let me sidebar for a second. So I have several white European descendants, and even those that are descendants of the indigenous Latinas and indigenous people of North American continent. They come to me and they ask me questions, which I love, right? But I'm not going to hold a class for you. I'm going to tell you to examine why you feel the way you feel. And I'm going to ask you to say, what's the part that confuses you and hurts you the most? And then ask me to help you guide you to an answer. That's how you have to do everything. In order to be authentic, you got to be real. You got to be honest. When I'm hosting my mentor classes, my coaching classes, or somebody asks me a question from stage that I'm unaware of, I am very open and honest. And I say, you know what? I have heard of that, or I haven't heard of that, or I'm aware of that, but I don't really understand the intricate details. Give me a second. I can speed dial somebody on my cell phone. If I don't get back to you before this ends, please find me. But we don't want to be authentic. We want everybody to believe that's the facade that we create. And so as a business owner, it only prevents you from having the support that you need to get busy. It distracts from your power base. It distracts from you being able to move forward. Oh, I'm not supposed to move. It allows you to take on a new level of who you are. If you can ask for help, then you can hear somebody respond to you. You can get the information and you can move a little bit closer to where you want to be. I'm going to keep talking about this. COVID ain't going nowhere for another 6 or 7 months. The bus boycott took 381 days. But life still has to continue, and you have to make a decision. Is this for you or is it not? Is what you say you want what you really want, or is it not? Are you willing to let people like you for you and know that you're solving their problem or have a solution to their dilemma or their challenge or their expression? Are you able to support them in the next level and give them some guidance and shine some light into that space? If you are authentic, it's going to be. I'm going to leave an example. Yes, it's difficult to talk about things. We don't want to have a conflict, but be authentic. What's happening in your business? Don't just keep asking me to trust you and to buy something. What's happening in your business? What can you tell me that can build up my confidence in your business? What can you tell me about you that lets me have a connection to you so that I can consider you, trust you, and allow you to serve me from your business? I was thinking about, I turned on, I'm on the internet today. I was looking for some information because I'm researching. And I was on my way to the library, to the internet library. And I saw this commercial for McDonald's. And I said, wow, after all these years, last time I saw a McDonald's commercial was when Calvin got a job and he went from McDonald's in the neighborhood. Hey, Calvin, what's going on with you? And then they showed him being a worker at McDonald's, right? To prove that the McDonald's was inside of our community. Okay? So we understand McDonald's knew that it needed to be present within a particular community and to show somebody who people could relate to. And then there would be a relationship starter, an icebreaker. What do you tell people about your business? What do you share about you and your business? Before, even though you're giving value, you may be giving value all the time. We got that part. But are people able to see you? Does your page look dry and cold? Are you afraid? Y'all know my story about the $250,000 when I first got my divorce or going through my divorce. What you're not aware of, you're still held accountable for. It's still going to impact your life because you don't know, you're not aware of it. When it presents itself, you have to be prepared to say yes to the opportunity and call upon the resources that you need to get you through that process. Even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. So when you are reaching out and identifying who you are and what you are, what are your clients seeing? What are your potential clients? What is your customer seeing? Are they seeing the real you, or are they seeing the one that's on the picture in the hallway, but not the person that's really you? When I mentor people, when I coach people, I keep them abreast of what I'm doing. I got the skills, the knowledge, and the know-how. And what I learned is that I can package that up and I can sell it into programs, VIP days, and executive weekends so that I can share with you. Because when you're running a business, you don't have time to keep running back and forth trying to read a book, watch a webinar. You don't have time for that. I'm your webinar. I'm your retreat. I'm the book. I'm the class. Let's go. Let's go. Let me get you away for a weekend. And if that weekend makes you nervous because you know you are not in the proper format to be, because as an owner, if you're a real owner of a business, you want to be able to, you should be able to take vacations. But are you being authentic? Are you recognizing the things that are inside of you that are preventing you from being able to really function? Can you function? I opened a business. I got an EIN. I got a nice logo. I got a bank account. I hope. You don't know how many people I do business with, and they say, put the check in my name. They got this beautiful name, this whole big portfolio. I said, okay, sure, I'm in. And then they give me, put it in my name. What the hell you mean? You just told me you. I'm still going to keep the contract. Because we got to come up. We got to move on up. So I'm going to do the contract, but I'm going to take a few extra seconds and I'm going to say, listen, don't run from your wealth. Break up with the habits and the tendencies that we have that are trapping us and keeping us in paycheck poverty, middle class misery. And let's look at some revelatory riches and some worthy wealth. Tomorrow's Juneteenth. What more could you expect out of your life than to be able to produce something that restores and elevates all the pain, all the sweat, that the fact that even after the emancipation was signed and the war was closed, it took 2 years and 7 months before the last enslaved African was told in Texas they were no longer bound to this plantation. They were free to roam about, but not free to be. Let's keep that real. Another conversation number day. What are you finding yourself bound to? And a lot of it is that mentality. I told my mentor group, I think it was my mentor group, I said, or maybe it's my coaching group. This is my coaching group. And I said, listen, how much is enough? When is it enough? What is your number? What are you going for? Do you really want financial freedom, or are you just wanting to just look like you have financial freedom? Are you willing to grow an empire, a conglomerate, Or are you just talking about it? This is what it requires of you if you are really going to be able to move forward. The Thursday Thought tonight is all about you being authentic. It's all about you being honest with yourself. It's all about you being able to commit words we don't like. People hype us up on empowerment and purpose. I've talked about it. Go back and watch the videos. You might have to go back a couple of years, but it's there. We got to get out of this thing. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. To celebrate the last day, June 19th. The last day. Although we didn't have good records, they didn't keep ourselves on record very well. The last day that a plantation of enslaved Africans were told that they were now no longer bound to this property. But Juneteenth concept can work for everyone. It doesn't matter about your nationality or your ethnicity, or your experience. If you were born on the continent of Africa or India or South America or the Caribbean or North America, Australia. We do got folks up in Greenland. That's still technically part of North America. So we got to begin to ask yourself, what are you willing to do? Are you committed? Because I'm committed beyond committed. To make sure you understand that you have something that people are waiting for, that you understand that this celebration that's coming tomorrow is not just about Black African Americans, but it is the impetus and it is the reason why we're doing it. And it is very much a valid and worthy reason to celebrate. But I invite you to take on your own individual celebration. And celebrate the authenticity of yourself, the quirkiness. I purposely do not pre-record my videos because I want people to see me, sniff my nose if it starts running, or if I get too hot to gulp the water. I want y'all to see the pixelation that I see. Hopefully it's not coming out that way to y'all. Be authentic, because the content, the message is true. But we're being conditioned to look for things for perfection. In your imperfection is your greatest product and profit. In your imperfection. I just started using an old computer up, and I found all kind of audios and videos that I'm going to add to the Holistic Prosperity Library or Exponential Existence podcast. And if you are willing to go and find the gold, if you understand that you're 3 feet from gold, 3 feet from gold is a story that's told in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and the Think and Grow Rich is a Black choice by Dr. Kennedy. And I'm just telling you, Kimbrough, Dr. Kimbrough is his name. Think and Grow Rich has all kind of formats. But what are you willing to do today to get you closer? 3 feet to go. That means the goal is right there, but you're so used to just hitting the same spot, doing the same thing, that you're forgetting that goal, that there's something that the story goes, the man didn't know that there were faults. He was the gold mines in Colorado. And there's a fault line that happened, an earthquake, and the fault line moved over 3 feet. So he kept digging, never got his gold. And when he sold everything, and the man that came and bought it, he had been studying gold mining. And so what he did was he called a geologist, says, you know what? The man that sold you this place just don't understand the earth. The earthquake moved the fault line 3 feet over. And so therefore, your gold is 3 feet over from where he stopped drilling or picking. See, a lot of us are doing that too. We're missing the gold that is right in front of us. We're missing the gold that is waiting for us 3 feet away, because we want to look like we got gold. So we go buy the paint, We go buy the fancy clothes. We go get the fancy business card, the office space. We look real good. And then when it's all said and done, it's fool's gold. Okay. Jill Scott has a song called Fool's Gold. Don't be fool's gold, be the real deal. I was gonna say real deal Hollifield. I'm talking about gold. Okay. I do appreciate you being a part of my family. I do appreciate you being here. But to be authentic means that you have to buy into the next level of your greatness. You have to not only buy into it with no cash in hand, but you're using the credit that is known as your will, your truth, your presence that's going to get you there. Don't hold back your greatness. We're waiting for you to unwrap and become naked in your greatness. Naked in your greatness is what I said. Become comfortable in knowing that what you have to offer, there are people that are waiting for it. Know that there are opportunities that are waiting for you to get in position. Just say yes. Make the decision and see what opens up to allow you to be. Authenticity means being you regardless of what's going on, knowing that who you are is just as valid as the one that asked you to be that. And so when people expect you to shift shape, deny your greatness, your wisdoms, your knowledge, your skills, your awareness, just scream out, say no, and quietly walk away. Either way, choose to be authentic. Share who you are and what's important to you, so that everyone understands that it's not that our stories have to be the same, but that our stories elevate us, empower us, fortify us, and remind us of the naked greatness that we all share. I am Dr. Marion, Sister Afua of Exponential Existence. This has been the Thursday Night Thought, episode 399. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll be back here again soon. Good night.